I'm going to go ahead and record it on the computer. Okay, Q&A. Robert, of course, you're up first. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, Bob. Hey, I was just really enjoyed your training today. I was curious. Did you hear about the lady billionaire that just purchased 900,000 American Eagles from Miles Standish?
I certainly did. And also there's another billionaire that just purchased, what was it? $1 million, no, $10 million worth of silver eagles.
So what is your take on the availability of silver, what impacts this will have, and if many billionaires started buying up physical silver, what do you see happening in the near future?
Well, supply and demand happens all the time to us. That
even though they're manipulating it.
Yeah, you can't turn back supply and demand. I mean, if there's no supply, what's going to happen when there's a lot of demand? Prices are going to go up. Okay. JP Morgan and the COMEX right now are trying to manipulate the price of silver down. And then now you got all these rich people that realize this is happening again. And so what are they doing? They're buying gold, they're buying silver, right? And a lot of it. And so that's an opposing force. But there's just so much silver that's there. I mean, there's just so much that the mints can produce anyway. They're all limited by their own current capacities. None of them, I'm telling you, none of them are going to be expanding capacity. I mean, a mint that expands their capacity at this time right now, I think that's a foolish economic thing, but that's my opinion. But I don't know, and I don't hear of any that are expanding their capacities to any great extent. So we're limited by current capacities that exist. I know that 7K, this either in September, October, maybe latest November, but hopefully, we're going to have another form of bullion that we can buy and store in our sound money wallet. Another reason that I've held off, I've got a lot of silver eagles, I've got a lot of maple leafs, I got a lot of Britannicas, I got a lot of kangaroos. I'm wanting more of a way that 7K does, where you have a bar or a round and you get it closer to spot with a lower premium, and then that you can turn it into whatever currency we're going to have when you need to. So in answer to your question, I see silver supplies toward the end of this year being extremely tight. Now that's what I see. I may be all wet, and I may be all wrong. Okay, but that's what I see. Now gold, we're okay in gold. We've got a lot of gold out throughout the world. The people who are buying more gold than anyone are the same ones that's been buying all for the last 40 years. Well, let's say the last 20 years. Countries and banks. Countries and banks are the ones buying the gold, the vast majority of the gold. Russia's still buying more gold. India's buying gold. The BRICS countries, all net buyers of gold right now. And why? Because they're going to move to a commodity-based currency. I strongly believe that's going to happen. And I think that's going to happen before the end of this year. And that's going to make a major, major change in US dollar trading globally. And it's going to significantly weaken the dollar again, and that's going to have a major impact again. That's my view. Did that help, Robert?
Yeah, yeah. I just,
if you got to follow on, go ahead. I mean, everybody else learns from questions, you know.
Well, I've got some other stuff because, well, I guess I'm just wondering. I've heard different people say different things about the quantities of availability of silver and gold, and I've heard you say that there's plenty of silver out there, and I just was, I'm just kind of wanting to know a little more reality as to what really is available. Is it possible for them to really deplete the silver to the point of where it really is not available and you can't? It's hard to get.
Oh no.
No?
Okay, I'm just point blank answer that question for you. Absolutely no. I mean, you to deplete silver is going to take decades. Okay.
Okay.
Most of where you see silver disappearing most is that in commercial consumption. Okay, so that's not available to make into silvers, bars, and rounds or coins. And reclaiming that is very difficult. Let's take California. Okay, what's not being reported? All these past solar panels that are no longer usable, being discarded. Do you know the amount of pollution and the amount of solar panel waste? And you got silver in these solar panels, but there's so much there's not the economies yet to recover it, but you're building up huge waste that is getting toxic chemicals into the watershed. But nobody's talking about that. Oh no, we're going to be this green energy mess has got to come to an halt. Well, thank goodness Europe is finally, some of Europe, look at Holland, look what's happening there. I'm a chemical engineer, so I can tell you point blank that this green energy mess is nothing but make the wealthy people so filthy wealthy on all this, and the government's control and these carbon credits. It is the biggest forest in the world, and so many people have been brainwashed and believe this crap. That is something that has just upset me for decades, and they still believe, oh, it's gonna save our world. We're not gonna have global warming. Idiots. Yeah, you can get my blood pressure up when it comes to that subject. Total idiots. And if I got any of you online that believe that crap, I'm calling you an idiot. Yes, because you are. You swallow, you like drink the dead gum stupid Kool-Aid, and you may as well go ahead and get poisoned, because that's what you are if you believe that crap. You cannot live in this world without oil and coal, carbon, because the plants can't live without it. We've got to have a lot of CO2. If we don't have CO2, our whole planet's going to die off. How diabolically stupid can people be? Oh. And pollution? Oh yeah, we've had, nobody wants to pollute, and you catch the polluters. As a chemical engineer, way back, I got my degree in 1969, 5 years, 64 to 69. It took 5 years back in my day. to get a chemical engineering degree. You didn't graduate with 134 hours. You graduated with about 158, 160 hours. Okay. And so our entire thing is effluents, things that go to waste. How do you take it, recycle it, reuse it, and you make pure wastewater go to the river from your plant? That's what we were taught. How do you take gases? How do you make sure your pipes are 100% sealed? How do you check them all the time to make sure there's not even the slightest parts per billion leak? How stupid can people be? But you got to have oil. If you don't have oil, let me tell you, you're not going to have a vehicle. You're not even going to have an electric vehicle. And this electric vehicle crap, that's got to be the biggest crap I've ever seen in my entire life. Where the hell do you think you're going to get your electricity from to charge them? But then you got to dispose of some of the most toxic batteries that exist. Oh, wait, nobody thinks about disposing of this crap? What are you going to do with it? If everybody has electric vehicles all over the globe, you got a major contamination, effluent, toxic, global situation. Oh.
Hey, Bob, just to clarify.
You just pushed my button when it comes to that.
Sorry to light you up there like that, Bob.
I think everybody saw that. You pushed my button is right.
I found the button.
I mean, that's why I was involved 15 years in the politics, because of stupids listening to these stupid politicians.
Well, I agree with you 100% on that. Can I clarify, though, the answer to that question, though, about silver? So you're saying that there is more silver than there's a plenty of silver no matter what? Or are you saying we could?
No, I'm not saying there's plenty of silver. We know how, hey, I'm glad you wanted clarification on that. We already know how much silver is in the world unmined. Okay. The only things we don't know about is the extra finds, the extra things that are not great big deposits. Yeah, you know, with our science and technology, we know where all the gold and silver deposits are all over the globe right now. That the problem is, Robert, some of it costs 4 and 5 times to mine and purify than what it is today. So nobody's going after that. You only go after what's economically that you can pull out of the ground, or pull out of stones, or pull out of mountains, or pull out of, you only go after that if it makes economic sense. But we know where it's at, and we got enough to last my children's children right now on current demand, supply, use right now current. But who's to say more uses aren't going to be developed? You know, we got enough for that. Now, we got a lot of it in physical gold that you and physical silver that you and I and everybody else has, and the countries has, and billionaires has, and millionaires has. Well, that's sitting in physical silver. That could be melted, sold, melted, and used, right? So let's leap to the future. Okay, let's leap to the future, where gold and silver get their right price ratio. Silver goes to a supply demand price, where supply and demand economics are pricing silver, not paper controls by the COMEX and JP Morgan. That's what's controlling it right now, by the way. Mm-hmm. And so let's go to supply demand. We went to supply demand right now. If we just let supply demand control silver, the price of silver would be about somewhere around $50 per ounce. And then as uses get used, you know, it is do you mind that silver where we know it's at? If it costs $60 to mine it, nobody's willing to sell what they got in their hands in bullion, because that's the other source of silver, is bullion, which already been sold and mined and out there that you, like you and I and others, are holding. So if we sell bullion, that adds to the supply. So if you add to the supply, the price will soften. So that will then get to that stage. Does people sell it or do they mine it? And then there'll be that equilibrium going along of supply, demand, economic. We will eventually get to that point, Robert. Now, when that's going to get there, when they break the COMEX, that's when it'll get there. And when will that be? They almost did it this last time. If people would have kept on buying silver and chased them out of their shorts, they would have broke the COMEX and it would have been over with. Just like they broke the Hunts brothers back in the day. So, research that history, everybody, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But we don't have an unlimited supply of gold and silver. God put so much of it here, and that's all there is, and there won't be no more.
How much known silver is there?
And nobody can make it. They've been trying to make it ever since they found out gold and silver are valuable. The chemists have been trying to make it for forever, and believe me, they won't succeed. Okay.
You said they know how much there is right now in gold and silver. How do I access that? Know what that is, or how do I get that information?
You're not going to get that information.
Well, you said that they know how much there is.
Yeah, we know how much it is because the people who have paid for the satellites to search the earth and find that, they aren't going to produce it for you. It's just that if you've been in the industry as long as I have been following this, you know about it. Okay. But do I know exactly how much? No, I don't. I don't know exactly how much out there. I can go and get other people's speculative reports about it, but they're speculative reports. The fact is, we know where it's at, though. That's known. That's been known for a long time. Do we know where gold and silver is? Ever since we started having satellite exploration of the globe, the earth, that's why we know where a lot of things. That's where we know where trace minerals are. That's how we knew, by the way, that Afghanistan holds some of the largest trace mineral deposits in the whole world. That's why Russia wanted Afghanistan. That's why America wanted Afghanistan. That's why China wants Afghanistan. It's the trace minerals that are deposits that are there. Great questions, Robert.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I enjoy learning this stuff. It's good.
Hey,
thank you.
I did too, but the only thing that's important to all of us, gold and silver and the global macro stuff that I just talked about, protecting yourself and your family. That's the only thing that matters economically right now.
Well, one of the things, I'm trying to do, I'm doing some TikTok stuff, and I'm doing some other stuff that I'm trying to put the message out to people of the value of gold and silver, and especially silver where it's priced right now, the value there. And, so I'm just trying to understand that better. And, so I can
I
explain
understand.
it to people.
No, I understand. I was doing that way before 7K, doing the same thing, hitting my head against the wall, except we got more 22nd century ways of doing things today. So I hope y'all are more successful than I was.
Well, it's amazing how people just don't understand the value of it. They just don't get it.
No, well, it's when I give a wealth strategies presentation, if you ever seen one that I give, I stop the video and I tell people right up front, you're going to hear things that you have never heard, you've never been taught, And it's been on purpose. You've been brainwashed to buy paper. You've been brainwashed to save dollar bills. You've been brainwashed to buy stocks, bonds, annuities, that's what you've been brainwashed to do, to make everybody else rich. And you don't understand a damn thing about those things. Oh, you might try and learn about them, but you're never going to be able to compete and be in that game. You're just lucky. You're better off, after 40 years of investing in the stock market, more than that now, 50 years of being involved in the stock market. Heck, it's more than that. I started 1970, 1971. 1971. That's 29 and 20, 49 years. How about that? 49 years stock market. And I still have stuff in the stock market, but very little, very little. See, that's what I call speculative investments. Anybody's got anything in the stock market, that's what you call speculation. And sometimes after my 49 years of the ups and the downs and the ups and the downs, when a stock goes bankrupt, you got nothing and you can't recover it. Gold and silver has never lost me a penny, ever. And you can't go bankrupt with gold and silver. So what do you think you need to have some of? Paper, which disappears because of inflation, stocks, which go bankrupt, bonds, which become junk and become worthless, like junk bonds, or you really want to gamble and you want to trade options where you don't own anything and you're buying and selling it. I mean, how stupid today? Oh, I know how stupid that is. Trust me. I lost $270,000 doing that. Oh, I was ahead $250,000, but I lost it all and then more in one trade. So I tell people all the time, you're much better off taking $10,000 instead of throwing it in the stock market and trying to watch it go for 40 years. Go to the boat, put it on black or red, just cross your fingers. You got better odds. But you know what the best thing is? Put it in gold and silver. Or get you a plot of land and hope demographics come your way. That's the best thing. Okay. Assets came back.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting. This lady that bought all this 50 million invested 50 million into gold and silver, all the silver eagles, because she claims she's made it public that she wants people to know who she is and what she's doing, and she's not done.
Yeah, she's not done. Well, we've helped people buy up to 1 million in eagles from 7K. Then 7K members, 100,000, 200,000, million. Those have been done inside 7K already.
Well, I think it's going to be exciting, because I think if more and more people start doing this, I think they're like you say, breaking the comics. I think that's what they're trying to do, these people.
Yeah, I agree. And it's our purchases. Like, see, before, when we first started, believe me, the first like 3.5 years with 7K, we could literally say we got the best price in the marketplace. I mean, no one beat our price. No one. You had dealer direct because you could go to it, you could see it, you could buy bullion, you could buy 1 ounce, 2 ounce, 10 ounce. And then I did a lot of, if you go back to a lot of my old YouTube trainings, I'd take you over to JM Bullion, SD Bullion. I'd take you to AppMax. I'd take you to Kitco. I'd take you to the website, and they would have as low as, but you had to buy 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 ounces to get those as low as prices. You compare, you know, buying just 500 ounces, and our prices were best, and most people can't afford 500 ounces. Okay. And so we beat the heck out of everybody. So it was easy to say we had the best, but the main thing is we had the best buyback prices, even when they did not have a sound money wallet. And still we have the best buyback prices. So why not be a member, buy your gold and silver from 7K? And I taught people to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever ounces of silver eagles or maple leafs or Britannicas or whatever was there. Just add it to your autosaver, and then you get free shipping, and you're just getting a pure cost of you're getting the silver at pure cost, whatever it is. Okay. And so we had people buying 2, 3, 4, 5 ounces every month of bullion, along with their numismatic coin purchase, whatever they could afford. And I taught that. I taught our people to teach that. Now it's very difficult because we run out of stock. So but if you add it to your autosaver, it's out of stock. And so what you added to your autosaver, they can't ship to you. It's not an automatic thing. They'll just, you know, when they get restocked, they put it back in. It's a different lot. It's a different contract you added at that particular time. So they can't keep it in stock long enough. I mean, look at all the silver and gold that 7K Bullion has been adding over the last month to their inventory, and it completely sells out. And if you know, all you have to do is click on quantity, and you can see those monster boxes. That's 500 ounces. That's 500 coins in there, those monster boxes. And they had hundreds of them, not just one or two. and you know, you'd see orders being made. We sell out of our bullion because people are getting smart. People are educating themselves. They'd rather have silver and gold than paper trash. That's a smart thing. And so what if bullion goes down? Hold on to it. It's going to go back up. That's the whole point. It's all underpriced right now. Okay. Well, just like stocks, what goes down goes back up. But unlike stocks, silver and gold never go bankrupt. That is the biggest difference. And that's a beautiful one. Sharon, yes, ma'am.
Hey, Bob. Great questions from Robert and great answers. Thank you very much for that. That's a huge education. My questions, I can cross off the one I was going to ask you about the electric car batteries, what you thought about that, because it's just as there's no way to get rid of them. So
That's right.
You were saying that if we saw one of your wealth strategy presentations, I've seen your older ones on YouTube. Do you have any newer ones, or can you do one for us one day as a training?
You know, I might just do that. I might just say, hey, look, I'm going to do a wealth strategies, bring everybody you can to it. I might put that in the schedule and do that. That's a good idea. But what I like to do is, I'm going to tell you how I do wealth strategy. I don't do the PowerPoint presentation any longer. I mean, I did it because it was, we couldn't play the video. That's the only reason I did it. Everybody in my group knows that I've always played the video. I've always pushed play because that's duplicatable. That's something you can do. That's something everyone can do. What you have to learn is just the prefaces. How do you set that up? A few questions to you pick on one or two people. I call it picking on them, but in a meeting, you pick on one or two people to set up the point of why everybody's there, why everybody's together, why it's worthwhile taking a few minutes to watch this 18-minute video, or 16-minute, or well, however long it's going to be, but now it's 18 minutes. And then right before you play it, you know, like me, I tell everybody knows my education, everybody knows my work experience, everybody knows my background. They know a little bit about that before I even, and I say, you know, I could give you a knock out presentation and knock your socks off, and you're going to join. But you know, the problem is you can't go out and do that to somebody else. And most people can't do that. They can't. They couldn't even probably wade their way through a PowerPoint presentation when I tell them all you have to do is read the screen. That's all you have to do. But most people don't do that. And but everybody can press play. Can you press play, Sharon? Can you press play?
Yes.
You can. Okay, good. All I'm going to do is press play. Let's sit down, let's watch, let's listen, and then let's talk afterwards. Okay, bingo. You press play, you watch the Wealth Strategies video. But see, I have taught my groups, I don't just watch it. I pause it at about 4 spots in that video, and I make a statement or two to make sure they understood that point that was just made to them. Okay, so I'm re-emphasizing. It's the old thing. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to say, then I'm going to tell you what I'm saying, and then I'm going to tell you what I told you I said. Okay, so and so I have taught all my groups that's what you should do. You should learn how to do that. You should learn how to pause that sucker and then make that statement and then press play again. Let it go. Don't entertain questions and conversation at that time. It's for you to make a statement and press play again and continue. And that's how we watch the Wealth Strategies presentation. How do I end the Wealth Strategies presentation? Same way I tell everybody. I ask the guests specifically, and ask people that's been with me. I don't even hesitate. I say, Sharon, okay, where do you stand? You stand at a 1, you want to join, you want to be a customer. You stand at a 2, you're going to hit this part-time, put some part-time, make some part-time money in there, or you see it, you're going to go after it big, you're going to squeeze everything you can in it, you're going to make this work. Are you a 1, 2, or 3? What are you? And I just
3.
shut up until you answer me. And if you don't answer me, I ask you again, same questions over again. And let me tell you, I've had some people say, well, they didn't answer. I say, you know, are you hoarse or you can't talk? What's wrong? Did you hear my question? You know, are you a 1, 2, or 3? That's all we need to know. We're not going to twist your arm, but we need to know where you're at, or we can't even help you. Okay. So I just showed you how to do the presentation. Okay. But yeah, I'll do one now that we can have Zooms that the video plays real well on it. And I've got it on my laptop, and I don't have to depend on the internet, you know, for the video and the Zoom. So you've got double internet. That's tough if you're pulling it off of a website to play on the Zoom. If you're doing that, that's wrong. You're going to get a lot of echo and interference, and that won't work. But if you have a hard copy of it, MP4, you can play it from your hard drive and play it on Zoom, and you're going to get it about as clear as you can possibly get. Yeah, I'll do one. I'll schedule one of those things. And I'll tell you what, if I schedule one of those things and I don't have 200 people on here with some guests, I'll never do another one. Okay? Because it's a waste of my time. I'm already I show y'all every week I'm flushing volume. okay? I've given all the training that it's at. But if I do something like that and you don't put people in front of me, it'd be the last time I do something like that. Okay, there's no reason for me to do that. You follow what I'm saying, Sharon?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay, but
I got it.
I'll tell you what, I'll put that into the program. I'll see about doing one. Put it out on the schedule. I'll announce it on the bands. But just because I put it out on the schedule, see, it's incumbent upon each one of you to get your people and their guest on that presentation if you want, and I'll do one. Okay, it'll last. It's an 18-minute video, so the presentation will be 30 minutes, and then we do Q&A afterwards. So it will be less than 30 minutes for the whole presentation. Okay, because I use the video. Okay,
Okay.
that's what we
And
do, by the way, every Tuesday night. Still, we still do that every Tuesday night. Baton Rouge, I play the video. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah. So you said that you're going to put it in the schedule too for business to business, or like not business for me to go to business.
What I'm thinking about, probably do Thursday night. I've got one other Zoom already planned that I'm doing Thursday, but it's earlier. So I'm looking to, because I want to get this B2B training for the 22nd century business cards. I want to get it completed. I've given you enough to actually do it.
Right.
With session 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And 3 being actually going and meeting with. But what I want to do is that meeting, I want to expand that. I want to go over the different scenarios and different scripts that I have, different approaches that I have based on the individuals and the business. I want to give that one so that you can actually be better at calling on the businesses and promoting 7K with them. And then the last session will be, how do you handle the objections and the questions in that, because it's a little different than what we do when we do a regular prospect for 7K, because we're all product income approach. We're going through the product approach, but then we add the income to it with the business, because we've got to catch that business. We've got to know we got their interest. We cannot be pushy with the business. You will shut off your future follow-up opportunities if you are. So that is a different way of being successful in your approaches. And I want you to be as prepared as possible. I want you to hit as many of them as possible. I don't want you to be afraid to go to the businesses. That I don't want you to do. I've already told you that. Go. I'd rather you go and come back and say, "Ooh, hey, I was kind of new at this. I messed up. But that's part of my training. I don't want to get into that right now. I want to just strictly keep this to a Q&A today for y'all. I want to let what I just shared with y'all kind of sink in, and y'all ask questions. Anything about 7K, anything about your pay, how to comp plan works, how this works, how do you handle this objection? Any of those questions are okay today. So just blot them out. If you've got a question, it's in your mind, I'll guarantee you 10 other people have that same question and they just won't ask it. Yes, sir, Kim.
How you doing today, sir?
Fine.
Thank you for sharing the truth. I took a lot of good notes, a lot of great points, but I wanted to share with the team. For us, like you said earlier, just to piggyback, in our team, still as of today, I refuse to do a PowerPoint presentation. I see many people do it. I see some people do some great presentation. And as you said, when you become too good to do that presentation, you're no longer duplicatable. And what we've done is we've only used the Well System app to build our entire organization to today. And that's all we teach to our team. But what we in our group, if you don't have your stack and sell set up, you don't have your sound money wallet set up, you don't have your 7K advantage set up, these are all the commercials through the video that they show. If you don't have those set up, we don't let you present. Because
Yeah.
when you stop the video, we want to make sure you share yours, not someone else. Share yours as a testimony. And that's what's becoming very effective for us. And every time we present like that, we have anywhere from an 80 to 90% conversion to a member.
Yeah, yeah, and because you're employing all the right tools and you're doing it right. And you're right. I've done, like I said, I've done the PowerPoint for many years, many different situations. Now in a big setting, now I surprised 7K even. Blake and them came. They wanted me to give the PowerPoint I can make myself look good and get up there and give a PowerPoint presentation on the stage and do it an extremely good job. You don't get to where but that just makes me look good. That's not the point. The point is to show people how to duplicate. And so I told them when they came, I said, I show the video. I do something that's very duplicatable. Well, what if they've already seen the video? They will have never seen the video the way I show them the video. And so we sat there and did a video, went through the pause, and that was on a lightning tour because I wanted people to walk out of there knowing how to build a business. And we did have some guests, by the way, in there. And that is the way I've always taught in everything I do in this business. What you do to someone else, they've got to be able to do to someone else. That is the power of duplication. That's what builds your business. Now, you as a leader, that's why I teach leapfrog. You as a leader has got to know that your leaders are duplicating what you taught them because they may not do it as well. And that's why you've got to be integrally involved. Now, Wayne Clark and a few others are doing that really well. Staying in the game, duplicating in the game, like you're doing, Kim, with your group. You're new. You're less than a year in this business. You're coming up on your year anniversary, you and your team will be following you. And so I'm going to say it because you made a statement. I'm going to say it so everybody hears it. 2 years. You really don't know who your players are until you go 2 years. See, that first year, you have your first renewals going. Then that second year starts your second year of renewals. It's after that second year of renewals, you know who your players are. Everybody that's renewed in your team 2 years now are a player. It's incumbent upon you to communicate to them and make sure they know they've tied into a team, that they're there because they're a player. Okay, so that team leader, that becomes their job. See, I hadn't taught y'all that. I teach that in leadership training to the actual leaders, but that's what everybody's job is eventually. Yeah. Like my job right now, my job is teaching all of you. Many of you got other leaders that are leading the pack, building, growing. Well, my job is to teach y'all all the bigger picture and explain the whole duplication process. So I make sure I'm the one that's communicating it to everyone, and it doesn't lose any of its power or in third party explanation, where one party explains it to a party and explains it to another party, explains it to another party. Y'all know how that goes, right? You go to a party and you describe a cow in the whispered in ear of the person next to you. You sit in a circle. By the time it gets back, they whisper in your ear. They're describing some kind of monkey. You know, that's why you continue and do. Here I'm going on 6 years and I'm still training. Okay. And that's the reason why. Thanks, Kim. Appreciate it.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
If I may, just to kind of share my personal experience, why I'm still here today, is that within the first 30 days, we believe that first 30 days of a new person, they will either make 2 decisions. We're a bunch of crap or we're the real thing. And that's done within those 30 days. That's what we believe when we teach in our team. Because within the first 30 days, I was able to set up my stack and sell. Since I have a business pack, we came in as majority of the people in our team come in with a business pack within 30 days before or after. And that means you have 3 coins. With those 3 coins, you should be able to know your rate of return on those 3 coins. And that rate of return made a big difference for me when I speak to someone about 7K. And then secondly, understanding that minimum maximum with the Sound Money wallet to be able to transact a quarter, 25 cents, right? If you do 25 cents in silver, you go to your local pawn shop and you tell them, I want to buy 25 cents of the silver, they're going to escort you out of that pawn shop. So that's the power of the Sound Money wallet to be able to do that. And then the 7K Advantage. Personally, Bob, I've saved over $4,000 on 7K Advantage, and I've only been with the company 6 months. Actually, a little bit under 8 months, right? Because I use it religiously every daily purchase. Even when I travel, I use it, okay? It's amazing what an app saves you. But you see, when we teach those things on that person within 30 days, they may not have a business belief right away. Unless they're like me and my sister, and we made a check the first week we came in because we did everything you told us to do. And we watched all the videos that you told us to watch. You know, like Todd says, you become a Bob student within the first 2 weeks or less, okay? I know you teach a learning curve of 2 years, but 2 years is too long for me.
No. Look, it takes 2 years to learn all the skills and attitudes and techniques you need to become immensely successful. Okay, that's the key. Now,
Right.
some people, but you get to earn while you learn. You're going to earn the whole time. You're
Right.
not just going to go school. You're not just learning. You get to earn while you learn. And I don't want you to wait 2 weeks to talk to somebody. I remember when I get you started, the sponsor is working with the person they sponsored
Correct.
and helping them sponsor their one on their left and one on their right. They're involved in that process. So that one on their left and one on their right, that sponsor knows them too.
Yes.
And that's what I've always taught. Then while you continue learning, looking, working on your next 25 all by yourself, I am working with your person on your left and your person on your right, because I know how to do it better than you. I leapfrogged over you. I'm letting you work by yourself on your next 25. So you get your second person. Now you can qualify as a copper. And as we get one on their left and one on their right, your first person we sponsored, they're an associate. Now you're a copper. And now you get re-engaged. You're looking at your next 25 that you're working on. Simultaneously, you're helping this all new group. You are then helping them as get their 2 along with your sponsor. So you and your sponsor are working on that next echelon of those 8 people. because now you're dealing with 8 people and helping them get there too. Okay. And then you just duplicate that process. You just keep going. You keep driving the line. That's what's called driving the line, duplicating that same process right there.
Right.
Now, you will constantly work your next 25 each time until you go through your entire list of 500 people. Okay. Or the beginning list of 100. So that gives you 4 weeks of working on 25, 5 a day. Let's kind of look at it. That down now, see, y'all starting to understand my numbers when I explain it to you this way. And all you have to do is do the numbers. It works. People just refuse to do the numbers. I guess they don't believe, they don't understand. They want to understand before they. You don't even have to believe. Just do it. And you will grow. But you got to have a willing sponsor to work and do that. And if your sponsor isn't willing to do that, that's where you go up to your sponsor. Your sponsor. Somebody that's a copper or bronze wants to be the next rank. Believe me, they want your volume to grow and they want that to happen and they want duplication. So it's incumbent not only on the sponsor, but it's incumbent on the person to also find a person above them that's willing to work with them because they're willing to work. If they're willing to work, you will find somebody willing to work with you. That's the whole key. It really isn't that difficult. I promise you. It's just a matter of implementing. Thank you. Question. Next question. Come on. Hit me. You guys, gals, give me the questions. I know you got them. Okay. Let me give y'all a couple. Okay. Since we're doing Q&A. If your volume is 249 today on your pay side and 10,000 on your other side, and you're an associate, does your volume roll over to the next week or does it just flush out on both sides?
Roll over.
Roll over. Got it. Okay. Now, if you're not an associate, you only have one that you personally sponsored, does your volume roll over or does it kind of go away? I didn't get an answer fast. It rolls over.
Repeat that again.
Even if you have nobody that you sponsored, anytime your volume is less than 500 and you're active, it will roll over. Always, month to month. It'll roll over for a whole year. It'll be, let's say at the end of the first month and you're active, you got 100 on your pay side. It'll roll over. Next month, you got 200. It'll roll over. Next month, you got 300. It'll roll over. Next month, you got 400. It'll roll over. That what I tell you is when it gets to 450 and you have nobody left and nobody right, it's time to get your business family back. You spend $400, you become an associate, you got active on the left, active on the right, you get 500 points, and bingo, you get a $500 check. So you can even give a trial membership to your brother, aunt, uncle, sister, whoever, and make a $500 check. Bingo, real simple. So remember, I tell everybody, you will always end up with a business family pack. Or you're just going to flush your money down the toilet. Now, who wants to flush money down the toilet? And that's how I ask people. Now, if you got one active on one side, let's say your power side, your money, your bank side, okay, well, and you got 450 points, don't wait till it gets to 500. You just wasted 50 points. That's like throwing $50 down the trash. Do it at 450. or 460 or 455. Yeah, or you can even step in and do it at 440. And here's what happens. Let's do the 450 or 460. You got one active on your power side. You spend $200, you place a person on your left, you got a control center now, even if it's a trial, and now you get a $500 check. You come out $300 ahead and you got a control center. So in the future, that person that signs does not have to get a coin every month, so it can become inactive, but you're an associate for a whole month. Then what happens is, let's say 6 months down the road, you done got 500 points on this side, but you don't have an active. You're in control of your check. That person you put in, you could just buy a point coin that week before Saturday. So you end up with a coin in your hand worth money, and for $350 if you bought an Animal State Series coin, which gains value faster. You're accumulating wealth as you're learning how to do this. So learning that comp plan is important. Well, let's say when you got in, you first got in, you became an associate, you sponsored a person on your left, person on the right, and you sold 2 premiums to those people, and you got 4 leadership points. Well, and let's let a couple of months go by, you earned your first check, it's over with. Now you're building up volume, but you don't have an active on either side. But your power side takes off, and now you got 500 points and no active on the left, and that's where your 500 points are. You got 10,000 points on the right, and you got 1 active there, and you got 4 leadership points. Where do you find your leadership points? In your profile, right up there in your profile section. You look there, you should check there and always know it's got leadership point. Well, your volume will roll over and it would deduct a leadership point if you forgot to do what I told you. But that's a waste of a leadership point. You'd rather go ahead and get your 1 active on the left, get paid your $500, and then keep your leadership point. Here's why you want your leadership point. Because when you get to be a copper and you got 750 points there on your pay side, and you got 10,000 on your right side, and you're a copper, well, all you can get paid is that $500 check, because they don't pay $250 checks above 500. They only pay $250 checks below 500 volume. So that 250 points you're allowed to get paid on, but if you don't have a leadership point, it's going to go to your loyalty point bank. Well, you can get free product there, but that's a waste if you got leadership. If you got leadership points, it'll roll that over to the next week as 250 on your left, and you got your 10,000 on your right. You got your $500 check in the bank, and guess what? You already have a $250 check for the next week because you got 250 points there. And so if you got an active on left and right, you're going to get a $250 check, and you don't use leadership points for any rollover under 500 points. So if you've got 490 points and you got an active on left and active on the right, you're going to get a $250 check. It's going to subtract 250 points from each side, and you're going to roll over 240 points on the left side. So I'm just using the left side as your weak side, as your pay side. The same thing would happen if your pay side's on the right side. So I want y'all to review my loyalty points and leadership points presentation, about 19 minutes. And I go over several scenarios. Excuse me. And not COVID either. It's age. It's the only thing that training doesn't have, which I augmented this past week, is the fact that if you're not an associate, you will roll over your points, and it'll use leadership points if you've got them. But that can only happen if your people you sponsored, because the only way you can get leadership points is by enrolling, personally sponsoring a person with a premium membership. You get 2 leadership points. So the only way that can happen is you previously enrolled somebody, they went inactive, and you're no longer an associate. And that's the only way that can happen. So I had to cover that because it was happening into the marketplace, and it surprised me too. And that's the way Anthony programmed it. So it's just another benefit for the associates. That's all I can say. But it's also an unwise use of the leadership points, and you're wasting commission points that could be building up for another check. So you want to get your commission check as close to your 500 as possible, and then let your points roll over after that, because it will. If you're an associate, it won't use your leadership points for rollover. If you're just an associate, it goes to loyalty points. Remember, best way to use leadership points. Yes, Milo. Hey, Milo, North Dakota man. Cowboy, come on in. Give it to us. Big Eagle.
Big Eagle, that's right. So I'm just going to chime in with a little bit, because I know you made a special phone call one week and you coached me through doing some things. So this is what I took upon myself today, chiming in with what you did. I was 47 points from that next $500 on my personal. So I reached out on my business side and I bought 3 autosaver coins, processed them now. I got my business a $200, a $250 check coming, and also got myself over that $500 mark. I did not see anything where I could have done something with a member at this point, but you showed me the value of spending $400 and some dollars, and this time I'll get $700 worth of funds back. So that's awesome.
Yeah, you make money, and that really works. And when you're wanting to build coins and get coins like that and make that work, because you got, you're a silver, you get to do anything you want. Let's see, Milo, you're gold now, aren't you?
Yeah, well,
yeah, that's what
maybe.
I thought. Well, anyway, but hey, look, this is another point. A lot of people, like when I'm showing the thing, training, and I'm trying to explain Downline Explorer. If I can't show you Downline Explorer, you can't learn. Okay. And some people say, well, I don't want my name up there. It shows that I'm not a silver anymore. I'm just a bronze. But dadgum, y'all don't listen to my trainings. I train you to get your rank up ahead of your volume. Of course, you're not going to be a silver or a bronze until you've been in the business long enough every single week. You only rank yourself up when you got your volume and it pays you to rank up. That's why you want to get your rank ahead of your volume. Most people in building to get their 100-ounce silver bar, they don't stay a silver forever. I mean, I hope they do, but the vast majority don't. They fall and they become a bronze or they become a copper. Because why? In building up their business, you had a lot of excitement, a lot of things going fast, and a lot of people joining and nobody doing their homework. That's what you had. It was built on that excitement, that push, that goal, that drive, that, get that extra person. Go ahead and it makes sense to buy some coins to stay active to 45 days and get your 100-ounce silver bar. I mean, a 100-ounce silver bar is worth $2,500 to $3,000. It makes good economic sense. Okay, but my rank fell, your rank will fall. There's nothing to be embarrassed about that. That's what you explain. It's good to explain this. I'm not going to tell look, there's a lot of goals in this company that aren't gold every week. There, I'll tell you what, Phil Godlewski's a presidential goal every week. I can tell you that for a fact. He flushes volume every single solitary week. And there's a few people like that, that's been around for a long time, that's been here. But all the rest of, I mean, like me, I didn't get to executive goal. I could have real easy, and Wayne Clark could tell you that. But I promised him at the time if he would do what he committed that he would do and work with me, and he did. I pushed him. I said, look, if you don't hurry up and get to this executive goal, I'm just going to go ahead and do it, because I'm going to pull the trigger, because I'm wasting money. I showed him I wasted $15,000 2 weeks in a row. I said, that's putting money down a trash can. I want you to hurry up and rank up. And he did. He put the big push on, and he ranked up, and it was cool. And he became our first executive goal in the entire company. And he had a run. He has I think, but did he stay executive goal? Heck no. And but when he's got 10,000 or more volume, I'll guarantee you he's an executive goal that week. And then once he gets there, he's an executive goal for 3 or 4 weeks in a row. Okay. Same thing with our coppers. When I teach you to get to copper, I want you to get to copper. But if your volume is only 500 or less in a week, you don't need to be copper that week. If you're just an associate, stay an associate. No reason, unless you want to buy some more coins. And if you won't, when your volume goes over 500, now you got a decision to make. Now, how much over 500 is it? Does it make economic sense to be a copper? If it's 250 points, that's a lot of points. That's $250. It's necessary to be a copper, especially if you got a leadership point. Okay, because it rolls over and you got another check. It's just what I just taught earlier in this Q&A session. If it's if you got 990 points, you better believe it's necessary to you to be a copper. Okay, so you could buy a couple of coins over there, make some actives, and get coins in your hand, get a $500 check. Gee whiz, you come out with wealth in your hands and positive cash flow, and you're a copper again. Of course you do that. Watch my trainings. That's what they're built for you to learn how to build in this process. You're earning and building in the process. When you need to be a silver, you rank yourself up to be a silver when it's economic. Or let's say I've got a silver on my right. I've got a gold check. I've got a gold check sitting in my hands, but I'm a silver. because my silver dropped to bronze. Now, y'all got this? You got the picture. I've got 7,000 in volume on my counter this week, but I'm going to get a silver check. It's 3,500. I'm going to flush $3,500 down the toilet because my silver over here dropped to bronze. I got $3,500 to play with to help my silver, my bronze get back to silver. Do I ask my bronze to spend that money on them for me to make more money? I teach, don't you dare do that. Don't you dare go to your downline and ask them to spend money to get you a check. I do not teach that. And if anybody's doing that, they're doing it wrong, and they're doing it wrong to you. I teach you spend your money, you help them get back to bronze. I mean, get back to silver, and you got a lot to spend, and you send the products to you so you accumulate wealth, and it's all paid with commission. That's a pretty cool deal. So if everybody would duplicate what I teach, you all are going to grow. You're going to accumulate wealth. You're going to help each other. You're going to become a team. And that is in particular with people with rank from bronze above. That's who I'm really kind of talking. It kind of works a little bit that way with coppers, but your volume, your business is just developing, just growing. Of course, I've got one copper that's the top copper earner in the company, and he's number 2, and he's been a copper for a long time. He's always just one cell or short away from being bronze, but he never needed, he really never needed to do that except 2 times, and he missed the opportunity. And so he could have been a bronze, but I'm glad he stayed copper because it helped it. Now he's about to become a bronze because of the way his business is growing. His volume is growing. So when that volume grows, you better try to rank up. I'm going to try and mute. Why I can't do this, but somebody's got there. Okay, Milo, that was a great question. You got another question, my friend?
No, sir. And that was more of a comment, but yeah, we've been doing that for a while, and but yeah, it's great that everybody knows, and I try and teach that to to my downline and the people that I deal with as well. So thank you.
Yeah, and I want y'all to keep. It takes time for that to really absorb in, and a lot of people aren't, that great at this math stuff, and that's okay too. That's why we work as a team and we work together, and that's very, very, very important. Yes, sir, Brother Gary.
Yeah, I have a question, Bob.
Yeah.
Did I call you and not ask you what to do yesterday in the same circumstance?
You certainly did. You certainly did, and that was you're in our sponsorship line, and that's who you called, exactly who you're supposed to call. You call your sponsor, and that's what you did. And you were sponsoring and placing a new person, and you could have been a copper, but there was no reason to be a copper. You want to go ahead and get your volume up, and it won't be long though. I'll tell you what, that situation is about to change for you. You're going to start to be needing to be a copper. Now you got this other new person in. We'll get going. We'll get that volume going, and then you're going to need to be a copper.
Yep.
Okay, brother. Good. I love these questions because it helps other people learn. And it gives me a chance to really kind of see, what information we're getting given to everybody, and to make sure everybody has a full understanding that we all have it together. Okay. Any others? Any other questions? Okay. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, well, I talked about money again, even though it's a question and answer. Let me do this real quick. Let me share that income disclosure screen at the end of this. And then that way I can get this all posted up on the internet. And since we talked about income in this Q&A, want to encourage everybody to read the 7K income disclosure statement. There's a link for the PDF you can download in the description of this video there in the YouTube. And thank you for your time and attention. Everybody, make sure you contact the person that contacted you and tell them you're ready to grab a membership. Thank you for your time and your attention.